Hey, Ian Bond here, and I want to do a walkthrough and kind of a mini review for a site that I came across about 4 months ago and that I think is really a great tool for those people who are building a high-ticket dropshipping store, or even folks running a high-ticket dropshipping store. It's called Supplier HQ. And they claim to be the largest high-ticket supplier database in the world. Kind of suggestion number one for the folks at Supplier HQ, and I've corresponded with them 3 or 4 times, is kind of tell me how many suppliers there are. I did get some updates since I joined back in November, December, and they are adding quite a few suppliers, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. But let me just point out that you can put your email in here and get a free trial. It's a week. After that expires, you can put another one in and get a free trial, but you're going to have to pay to get some of the good stuff. I'll show you that in a second. If you scroll down here, you can see kind of all of the reasons, raison d'etre for this service, some of the other software that you can replace. In terms of the pricing for them right now, and they've gone through a couple of iterations on this, these are the pricing levels. I think most people are probably going to kind of buy it a month at a time. I did buy, ran a special where you could buy a year and have quite a good deal. Maybe that'll come back. But you can be the judge of whether or not how you want to use it. Let me tell you now, or let me show you now, what I think is really the kind of the thing that intuitively I really like a lot, which is when you're doing niche research or just kind of starting out, kind of figure out what do you want to do. And these are all of the niches, kind of meta niches, if you will, that you can explore. I'm going to show you in a second what the backyard looks like, but this kind of, depending on your area of interest, is a real thought starter, I think, for a lot of people. So this is a great place to start. If you click here on backyard, you're going to come up with all of these folks in the backyard. And there are, I didn't count them, but there's quite a lot of different places in the backyard. Now, if you were just going to do, kind of barbecue, as I mentioned, you would come and find barbecue here, and I'll show you what the suppliers look like in a second. But you could also think of other things that would be things that would be shoulder niches that might, work well around a barbecue. So, for example, patio furniture might, trampolines don't, coolers might, chicken coops not so much. But you can at least get a heck of a good start on barbecues, because if you click through on barbecues, you will see, these are the suppliers that come up, and there's 36 of them. This is the supplier search function, which is a little jinky. I've tried that a couple of times, and it's a little bit more difficult. When you get used to it, you can play with it. But let me just go through how this is laid out. Here's the supplier. This is a great column. It tells you if they're DTC or not. We don't want DTC suppliers. However, I always make a note of it, and I ultimately always call it, because sometimes you can get a DT supplier that you can do business with. We had that happen just 3 or 4 weeks ago, where we called somebody and they said they don't drop ship, but they would give us 25% off if we put their products up on our store. And in essence, they were saying that they are a drop shipper. So this is DTC or non-DTC. These are product types, average price, price range, search demand I'm not so sure of, average margin I'm quite suspicious of. I don't know how good that is, but I really like, kind of does this brand enforce minimum advertised price, or MAP? That's super important. But there are, just a whole, kind of list of folks here. I didn't count the number of folks that are map suppliers, but you can see. Having said that, there are a ton, this is a huge niche, and there are a lot more suppliers than this. So don't think that you've found everybody just because you've been to Supplier HQ. There are a lot more people than this that you can find, and I'm sure that they will find. They will ultimately find them. Another thing I didn't point out, which I want to, is here. If there are distributors, you can find distributors, and this is a big deal. So if you are kind of looking at this niche, Tri-State is a very, very well-known distributor, and these are their brands. So if you're looking for these brands, and I can tell you that Blaze is one of the hottest brands in barbecues, you need to go through Tri-State, and these, it wouldn't be obvious to find these people, if you started to look for brands, and in some niches, brands are, super important. So big thumbs up to Supplier HQ. Like a lot what they've done here. I highly recommend that you give it a spin and for a week, enter your email address and get access for a week, and think about when you pick your niche, actually, going with a paid program to access, kind of the stuff that I just went through. For Supplier HQ, show us how many suppliers you have, okay? And that would be helpful.